grenade and a smoke. No P250 in this round, despite the successes. And on nuke, I do wonder if Stico will even get the opportunity to throw all these grenades. There goes the HE grenade, there goes the smoke grenade, and will the flashbang follow? It will, and Oscar will start with a headshot.
It's always a good way to start things in the game of Counter-Strike. Oh, there we go. Shutting down Radio Room. Although I guess it's more of a vending machine room these days. It's not a place for communication, it's a place for snacks, sugary snacks.
Cheap calories, Dan.
Cheap calories. Empty calories.
Freedom calories.
Kirby's going to run away. It's like, I have a Kevlar. It's been untouched. I too would like to be untouched. I'm going to save this so I can get a cheap helmet. But I don't know if he'll be able to save this. We'll likely see Mousesports try to shut him down. Sunny will find him. Sunny has been pretty damn good. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, that's very awkward. Both players running out of bullets, essentially. Sunny wins the battle, though. And gets a USP. That's nice.
That's another thing that's also nice about the P250. Yes, I like P250s. Is that you'll get slightly better armor penetration, and in a pistol round versus Kevlar, you can see they ran out of bullets, not shooting the face. It can take 6-7 bullets to kill someone. Although if you have a P250 no Kevlar, it's going to take them less to kill you, and that's the dance that you take should you head in that direction. Forced by from Astralis, not wanting Mousesports to have a clean start to a nuke on their T side. The CZ will be dangerous. No smoke grenades this time, but a high explosive on Zipex.
Tap, tap, tap. No one's going to be hitting the ground just yet. Stico will get in there, though, with the UMP. We've seen that Mousesports. This is what I was talking about previously about their anti-force spikes and anti-ecos. They have been consistently running this round. And I think it is. There are, I think, a lot of on most maps. There's a lot of rounds you can run, which are pretty good. But I feel like this is probably one of the best ones. And I don't know, like, if there's another round that's really nearly as good as going outside, taking control of CT Heaven. It's just so powerful. If you get that position, the pistols are essentially become sort of useless once you start getting AKs on those rafters. And UMPs. And they have survived with 5 players so far. That's actually really, really good. And Dupree gets himself 1, can't get another. 3 players pretty weak, but only Sunny dies. So really, really solid result from Mousesports.
Marvelous. If you're Mousesports, this start is marvelous. We have a total of 2 kills on Astralis, which is a good situation for Mousesports because that means there's less armor for them to rebuy, as well as lost grenades. The guns, if they are SMGs, for example, may not matter too much. Chris J is just rolling with a CZ. I like this approach as well, where he isn't... I mean, he hasn't died a single time. So I was going to say if he had died, doesn't fully reinvest, just sticks with the pistol, because there are probably statistics on how likely it is for, say, 1 player to die, depending on a map in this situation. So he can just pick up whatever comes of you know, if somebody drops the weapon if he's in the right place. But also, they know that it's pretty much USPs they're against, so he doesn't need to be too concerned with having a primary weapon at all. You could buy an SMG in this round, but you could argue it's wasted money versus ill-equipped opponents. But they are rotating Astralis towards the control room, which is not in control of Mousesports right now, so I would say Oscar would be exposed, but there is a smoke grenade there, and that will contain Astralis for the time being. Or will it?
Or will it? Mousesports looking very convincing. Very convincing indeed, like a late-night infomercial. Right now, Astralis, not really too much to speak of. I mean, 2 frags is not too bad, but if we consider that Mousesports did well enough to survive with 4 players in the last round, okay. Okay, I'm gonna take it back because extra kill, an AK stolen. That's a pretty big deal for Astralis now. That's definitely going to make a difference into the following rounds.
Yeah, they got more mileage than you could reasonably expect in that round, where they started with 5 USPs. And maybe you can credit them positioning themselves where they were allowed to around that B bomb site. Always nice to take an AK into a CT round, a buy round rather, excuse me. Asmo rears its head less frequently now that I'm actually using my pumps properly, but still every now and then might trigger a cough. Zipex will be the only man with a defuse kit, but other than that, I wouldn't go as far as to say Astralis are well equipped. Not full grenades. I'd love to see, though, again, statistics like when a team has full grenades, per map, of course, how often they get to use all of them, and like money they die with just grenade-wise and things like that. Nice to nerd out on those things. You see some rounds, for example, where a T side, let's say a CT side. I think Chris J's done this before on Mirage, where he will he won't buy grenades because he's going for a quick drop into the underpass. So if he gets picked off, I mean, he's not in a situation where he's going to use his grenades anyway, so he won't buy them. So nice attention to detail like that can always improve your economy over the long term. That's a lot of nerding in 40 seconds.
Well, we are commentating a video game, James. I think you're forgiven for nerding of any description. dupreeh will get the information fall back. And again, it's really critical as a CT side on this map to control space. You can give it up, but you just need to control it so that you can actually get teammates effectively in time on rotations. But no, dupreeh misreads the situation. Caught with his trousers around his ankles. And Sonny will push him over like a schoolyard bully. Now the bomb's gone down, 5v3. This is a great spot. Rubino to make the play. He made the sound cue though, and Chris is ready.
I think he paused for a moment to see if the bomb plant would be cancelled based on that sound cue, but unfortunately for him it wasn't. So success is unfamiliar to Astralis on Nuke so far. It's a stranger. Perhaps a passing ship in the night. 2 AKs in control of Astralis for the time being, but there's not much else that Astralis have control of right now.
Nice, nice, nice. Oh, Glaive. Oh, won't survive. No, Glaive. Oh well. 4-0. This is a great start from Mousesports. And this is scary, a very scary prospect because, again, it doesn't really matter sort of at this point how much preparation Astralis have done against Mousesports if they don't have any economy to really exploit certain options that they feel would be good against Mousesports' strategies and tactics. But there is still time. It's early days. Mousesports, though, have shown, again, a great aptitude on this map for these rounds. You can see Rops, again, just making the Rops plays. We talked about how he likes to detonate the squeaky door and then play the smoke around it. It's been really good this tournament so far. Rops gets a pick off as well. Steeko, again, we see him always in these rounds, up on the catwalk. It's a really good vantage point to play off your teammates. Oh, as I say that, Glaive, I don't know how he found a headshot there, but he finds it.
He was almost in CT spawn, Glaive. He had a good angle for Kiabi. He was directly below an enemy. And now things get weird for Mousesports. Chris J and Oscar and Robs are, well, in vulnerable positions. Oscar more so now, tagged down to 12 HP, and they need to get their bicycles on. Chris J spots everybody in A, but does he realize that there was 3 separate players, or does he think perhaps the guy behind the silo could be the guy in hut? The bomb now needs to be collected, so despite Mousesports having complete information, they are not in a superior position. Rubino now collecting an AK-47. Oscar is a mere whisker away from being eliminated in this round. And that jump has to be really careful for Sonny. Manages to make it without giving away a sound. Not easy to do.
There's only one guy with a Kevlar here, and Oscar gets one. There's a second one, so the Kevlar player's gone. And again, if you are at this point in a desperate situation and you've got Sonny left on your team, you're probably going to be feeling confident. He's been great so far in this series. Really come alive in the semi-finals here at ECS for dupreeh. Some tags there onto Oscar. Oh, we've seen it before from dupreeh, but not this time. Sonny has his number. And now he'll delete his number. He's no longer relevant for Sonny. 5-0, Mousesports with a great start. But now things get real, James. The AWP is out on dupreeh. Things just got real.
As real as it gets, like UFC. 5-0. It's a solid scoreline. So Zifek's doing the talking for the team, talking about the status quo. What information have they gleaned from Mousesports' play so far? What can they expect? Is there something they can exploit, take someone by surprise, be in an unexpected position, or will they have to lay back and try to stay alive for a longer period of time? Clock continues to tick. God Poseidon, congratulations on your 2,000 points. I like your name.
That's quite funny. Isn't Poseidon, like, isn't God sort of redundant there? Isn't Poseidon, I mean, Poseidon is a god, right? So.
It's redundant if you want it to be that. Whatever you like. Fast play from Mousesports into the A site will prove successful for a time, but Rubino, monster stand-in, 3 kills for him, leaving Oscar alone. Contribution from Kiabi as well, 1 versus 3. No bomb for Oscar. It is deep into the A site. The fast play has failed. And that might be Mousesports going for a fast play in reaction to the tactical pause. Maybe stopping Astralis from trying to get anything done. But boy, did they get something done.
Yeah, that was really nice. Oscar, objective damage. Well, that's that objective will not be completed. 5-1. Astralis finally getting something on the board, but they aren't out of the woods just yet. They need to continue the momentum and avoid that reset, which could very well come their way. And this is a really good round for Mousesports to basically just, if they have like what they think is, this is our best round. Like, this is one of our rounds which we feel is like super strong. Maybe we'll use it like one time a T-half, you know, something like that. This would be like a really good spot to do it, because if you can crush the CT economy straight away at the beginning of the match, it has huge implications.
Rubino going in like Volgar the Viking. He's got a bid for it, right?
Yeah.
He's in a good region.
I never played that game.
Preferences on point. I've got it on the Switch. It's not easy.
No.
I'd recommend it. You should pick it up. You should pick it up. Switch is commentator's best friend when you are on the road, when you're on those long flights. Technical pause this time. Glaive has no headset on. Normally, in these situations, we would have to be careful what we talk about, because we would be sharing a space with these people. But this time, of course, we have chosen Studio Finals as a nice way to send off 2017 as the last big event, or maybe the last event of the entire year. We wanted to do something different for the players, and I think they've appreciated it. Food everywhere, drinks everywhere. I think people have had a good time. I've seen some parasailing, some jet skiing. We're going to go for a break. A PC is having some trouble, so they may have to swap that out. So we'll be back in a few minutes with the conclusion of this first match of today. See you soon.
I think Flusher wins.
Well, Alicia's Alihe. Who knew that?
That's true.
We should call him Alihe.
Oh, I love that. Flusher toilet. I think that's I'm definitely using that in the future. That's happening.
Yeah, you should
He should not have given that information.
You should definitely flush the toilet, Dan, when you do a toilet. We are ready to resume Nuke. There was a PC error which has been resumed with one of these players. I think it was Glaive. So 1-5 is the situation. Hasn't been a good start on Nuke for Astralis. This is the third map of this best of 3. Mousesports looking good, and Petar from HLTV, definitely somebody to watch on Twitter, has put out some very interesting stats as to Mousesports on Nuke. Although in this round, it's Astralis with the advantages, it seems.
Absolutely, just getting annihilated through smoke. It's always very depressing, but it's a part of the game. It's something that can happen, and it's happened. The worst has happened. Astralis, they need to convert this round. If you are just joining us, it was a 5-0 for Mousesports in the previous round. Astralis were able to hold off a very fast upper rush in explosive fashion. Rubino with a triple kill, and this is sort of that conversion round to make sure that their economy doesn't get reset. So you can see it's gone swimmingly well. Very well indeed. Although, there is still time here, a minute to allow Oscar and Chris to maybe find a frag, but this off angle. Will he ever check this? Wow, he checks for that spot. That's beautiful. Often see Shocks hiding in that spot when you see G2 play this map, but...
What's the money situation? We need to know this.
The Mohanis.
So, it's not great for Mousesports. There may not be a buy after this round if they lose these weapons. So, this is a curious one. They can do damage to the CT economy, but then if they lose everything here, the CTs can rebuild next round. So, this is a tight situation.
There's like so many angles to worry about. It's actually so scary. Ooh, the vent dive. They're actually going for this. That's so exciting. Oscar there with the plant. He's got the AWP down there as well. Chris staying behind the vents to offer support. Oscar barely able to get through into the hazmat room. And Chris trying to watch for the vents. The Molotov there, making it unable for him to make the fight happen. Oscar down as well. Chris in an impossibly hard situation. Here's the tap of the bomb there, but he's got pressure on him. He has to go for the frag, and he had no idea whether or not the defuse was coming in, and it will now be finished off. It's a good attempt from Oscar and Chris, but as you say, there was definitely an argument for a save too.
Yeah, and if Oscar had held his position, I think he probably gets that kill towards the ramp, although there is no wrong decision there either or. Gambles have to be taken. Sipex follows up the grenade with some spray through the smoke. Really nice work from him, abusing his position, the position of the smoke as well. And because of the plant makes a difference for Mousesports. The plant, look how I mean, they buy to within an inch of their economy. It's the plant that allows that. So that was a calculated decision for Mousesports. The vent dive allows them to be in a position where they can still break Astralis. Look at the aggression. No, Kiabi, confidence in the AK. Had support if required. It will be some blocking as they leave, but no damage done.
So perhaps a moment of quiet now on the map on Nuke. Nuke is very breezy, though I don't hear any breezy noise at the moment, but whatever.
Definitely hear a breeze right now, Dan. Got to clean out your ears.
There's also a scope, and Zipex is going to hear that, and Oscar was way too exposed. Way too exposed, James.
CTs will delay any advance towards the stairs, and there are some nice pop flashes you can do for yourself when you're next to the stairs at the top. But it's not a common situation where a flash might be required. Dupree repositioning on the A site as Kiabi gets picked off. 40 seconds for these 3 Mousesports players, and Dupree's everywhere. Going for the no-scope on a second kill, but Rubino will take Sunny down in the meantime as Robs tries to position, and he will fail. No plant this time for Mousesports, losing the round, and that will put their money in a souring position.
And James mentioned Petar's post on Twitter about the stats at Mousesports on Nuke, saying, you know, it's somewhat expected at Mousesports to have a harder time in Inferno, but Nuke, they're 8-1 in their LAN results. But one thing to note with the stats there as well is that they are sort of missing some of the top tier oppositions, like you wouldn't see in the Nukes versus FaZe, SK, G2, and so on and so forth. So, although there are very good teams there, and there's definitely a lot of argument for Mousesports to be quite formidable on this map, as they have proven across this tournament so far. So really cool to see Astralis fighting back so early on. Kirby might have an opportunity to go in from the CT red there, or blue at this point. Rubino as well, still doing damage here. He's been holding this bomb site down, effectively anchoring the upper site like a pro.
Rubino delivering with express service. Chris J very patient with the P250. The bomb is planted, but there's nobody left to defend it. And Zipex will have an easy time of things. He's got the hamper out, the champagne, even some duck confit. 3 people surviving for Astralis. Pick up of a rifle from Sunny, which will help the economy. Back on the buy now on the Mousesports side.
That was a really good round for Mousesports. Again, if we can even consider the fact that they, so like you rarely actually see sort of like saving the 2 Kevlars and so on at the end there, but getting some kills, getting the bomb down as well is pretty legit actually from Mouse. They don't have the best amount of utility in this round, but we'll see the usual shenanigans here. But look at Rubino, wants to challenge Rops straight away, diving down the vents. Rops holding behind, and that information is there for Kirby. That's easy fragging. And again, this is something to highlight the fact that no one was able so far this tournament to answer Rops' plays around Squeaky. So Astralis already diffusing that in this round. They don't have to worry about Rops being annoying. And for Mousesports, not having Rops there, getting information, being annoying, it's going to really detract from their round.
I wonder how Mousesports will adjust to that in future rounds, though, if a CT makes its way into the vent. But there'll be time for that later. Oscar taken down in a catwalk position, and there's nobody to trade. However, Mousesports have the A site, which is more important. Or is it? 2 versus 5. The bomb is down, but they are at significant disadvantages. They need multi-frags. That's a great repeat from Sunny as he goes past the angle initially. But where are the rest of the players? Flashbangs streaming in all over the shop. Sunny has to focus on main, which leaves him and his teammate isolated from each other. But still, these frags are unanswered by the CT side so far. 2 versus 5, now 2 versus 3.
Yeah, Seiko and Sunny left on the clutch here to save the day. Keep that bomb safe. Oh, and that is not going to be the case here. Really fast fragging from Astralis to save it. Get some AKs as well. That's nice. That's very nice. Ooh. 2 AKs and AWP collected. They will be having great fun with that. Mousesports still with a buy, though. 5 to 5. I mean, having 5 rounds on the T side is always nice. It's a decent pace, I would say, from Mousesports, although obviously we're seeing quite a resurgence from Astralis. That's 5 in a row for them. Obviously with the bomb plant and the loss bonus, that's $4,200, even though you lose a round. So if Mousesports, even if they're losing rounds, can consistently do that, they're always going to have these buys to throw against Astralis.
Nice to see Dupree spreading the wealth at the end of that round. Just throwing the AKs to his teammates so they can all collect. And then grabs the AWP once again afterwards. Attention to detail, always good. Good to remain focused. Approaching 9.2 million face-it points given away now. This is pretty cool stuff. Again, make sure your accounts are connected. Well then, we are back into the game. Hopefully the game sound will soon follow. AWP for both teams, Dupree and Oscar on the sniper rifles. See what Mousesports have in mind. I didn't get a chance to mention, if Rubino keeps going for a vent dive, I think there's a world where Mousesports just make a play into the A side. Oscar taken down immediately. Kiabi by T-Red will be eliminated in response. And now we've got players moving into the vents. This is a fast-moving round there.
Yeah, it is. I like what Rubino is doing, though. Obviously, they don't have outside presence, so sure, he's giving up his position around main and Squeaky, but he's doing a job which is to hold off pushes down secret, which is very vulnerable at the moment. So Mousesports have to sort of work outside a little bit. You can see Chris is waiting for some teammates there so they can play the trade game against a lurking Rubino who is sitting there somewhere. But where? Down by the stairs. This challenge is important. Rubino going for the control room play. I really am a fan of that. Oh, that's a great entry. Straight away, Rubino off with his head. Zipex can't make it work on the trades.
Jolly good effort. Glaive moving into position, but where will the bomb head? 40 seconds, and perhaps there's still time for Mousesports to identify what might be the best bomb site. Glaive not revealing his position, and seems Mousesports will identify that it is A. I believe they have the high ground. Yes, they've got a player on the catwalk/heaven position. So I was going to say, if Rubino continues to move into secret in the early stage of the round, that does leave Astralis exposed somewhere else. That is quite the investment. So if that means only one person is keeping an eye on A from the high ground, then they can go through hut and just run from main. Sorry, from Squeaky Door into the A site. There are gambles because there's a smoke there, but it's something we might see in these dying rounds of the first half, or perhaps not.
So I think since that round where Rubino sort of shut everything down from Mousesports, I think it's round 6 actually, they did a, well that's nice from Dupree, where they did a rush into the upper bomb site, and Rubino did a triple kill from the CT vents. We haven't really seen that super fast push, and kind of like you said earlier, Rubino is now consistently diving those vents. So it would be really nice to see that from Mousesports. So just either a, whether it's just a straight rush or a set piece into that upper site. They had some very cool main splits as well. We saw from some of the previous matches as well. So looking forward to see the potential there.
So this time we've got Dupree with the AWP in the main position. I think there's enough of a gap for him to take out one player at the very least. Fast-moving players around, but not into secret, and Dupree is caught out of position perhaps, or at least it will be compromised by Sunny making a play through the smoke, but Kiabi's there as well. That is some information for the team. In the meantime, with the repositioning, Rops has made his way onto the ramp, so how do Mousesports keep this moving in their favor? Rops' position will surely be unexpected by Zepex. A slow execution from Rops. Now he moves forward. Really good map control for Mousesports.
Yeah, this lurk from Rops is really nice. Capitalizing on the distraction outside, moving into position, second frag, and there could be a third one as well, just occupying Kirby. And I mean, Kirby's sort of pinned into that position, so essentially it's just like one CT really that can potentially do anything against the 3 Mousesports players who are now progressing towards the bomb site. And Kirby's in the upper bomb site now. Rubino is in the lower one. He needs to get a double kill. It's a challenge, but smart for them not to go for it. Oh, that's a problem. Rubino, very sneaky, but eventually he will get taken out, and it's down to Kirby. That play from Sunny was really cool, where he got the player on main as he pushed the smoke, because there was actually a flash from a teammate as well, which perfectly blinded the main player. So it's just these small details, really nice to see.
Mousesports have always been good with T-side flashbangs.
Yeah.
Especially, I think Dust 2 was a very good example of that in the past. Look at that timing, absolutely perfect. Yeah, Dust 2, even with their old roster, they were very meticulous at flashing all the common angles. So here we are. Both teams on the buy once again. That door continues to be destroyed. Somebody call a carpenter. That is an aggressive push from Astralis, trying to change the pace of the game, but it seems consistent in success for Mousesports.
Yeah, this is quite the turnaround. Poor Dupree, what is he going to find from this position? He's got potentially a frag, but Rob's on the angle, hits the first bullets, and that's the end of Dupree. And potentially the end of buys for Astralis. I mean, we're almost at the end of the first half. 2 rounds remain, and Astralis have absolutely no money, so they have choices here. If they do one full save, they can get a decent buy in the following rounds. So that's probably the best way to approach this, and try to play for the 6-9 as opposed to going for force buys. We do see a couple pistols collected, but they are going to leave enough in the hole to be able to get that decent buy in the following round. And we'll see the tactical pause here from them as well to sort of decide how they can get the most out of the rest of this half.
So who is doing the talking for the side? Perhaps it's Zonic in the back. See some discussion. There's Glaive in the back. Well, the timeout has come and gone, and now we are into the buy time, 10 seconds before the running begins. 2 rounds remain in this half, and Astralis will be fighting for the last one, as the average is $2,000 for the team at present. Oscar leading the charge. Will he go for a play through the hut, perhaps, or maybe towards the ramp? Let's have a look. It is going to be towards the ramp position. He'll try to get there before the CTs do. Welcoming shot, but it will not be reaching its target on this occasion. Just the one player spotted. Now, Mousesports need to identify if a full force is in tow here, if Astralis are fighting for 2 rounds or 1.
There it is. There's the breeze, James. It's whistling away in the background, accenting the tension as now the push comes in through the ramp, or onto the ramp position. 2 pistols doing some damage here. Got to watch out for Dupree as well. He's got that CZ in hand. He's ready and waiting. 12 bullets to go. Oh, the flashbang's in. Can it be a second? No, it can't. But 1 is certainly going to be decent enough. He's got 3 teammates who can still find damage.
Question now is, I was going to say, do you leave somebody there to guard those guns? But of course, you have that raised, that elevated position, and I think the guns have been disposed on top of it, so it may be difficult for Astralis to get these guns into play in this particular round. So in that left corner there, I think they've been thrown on top of the boxes. So Kiabi, oh no, 1 AK's been left on the floor. And it has now been collected in kind. Glaive picking off Oscar as he tries to plant the bomb. Now there's a man advantage for Astralis, and they're coming in for a flank with an AK-47, so this is going from bad to worse. 16 seconds, there's time pressure for Mousesports. Planting exposed to the ramp. Where is the peak? There it is from Kiabi. The bomb's down just in time, but Rops is dead. It's 3 versus 1 for Stiko.
But he did enough. He did get that bomb down, as you said, so there is a chance here. Stiko can remain in position, but once he's discovered, if they don't already have a great read on this position, he's got 3 players to kill. How on earth can he do this? There's 1, and he's given it up. Now this position is known. Is he going to try to wrap around? And he will be caught by Glaive there. Slight indecision. And Stiko dies. And AK's collected. AK's all around. And what a round to win. Glaive with 4 kills. What an effort from the IGL. And it's going to be something that will definitely pay off massively. It's a round that they never expected to win, I wouldn't imagine. Obviously, you're always playing every single round to win it, but the odds were absolutely stacked against them, but still they made it work. And they have a good chance for a 7-8, which would be pretty incredible, again, against the start that Mousesports had.
During that sequence, we were looking at a different player, but I saw a Mousesports player with a P250, which would tell me that he was picking up a gun, presumably after throwing 1 away, but 1 was still left in that ramp position, and Kiabi ended up collecting it and killing with it later on. Glaive will not continue his success into the last round of the first half. Kiabi holding angles towards main, but not secret. He may get some sand cues towards secret, but look at the movement from Catwalk. 3 players charging along. Is there anybody to hear them? Perhaps there is on the A site. Trying to reposition is Rubino. Rubino's done for.
This is amazing. This is so awesome. Kiabi knows nothing about that quick push, and they get absolutely outpositioned. Such an awesome pace there, just running around the catwalk. Beautiful innovation there from Mousesports. Again, maybe it's something you only feel like you can do once in a half, but they picked the perfect time to do it. It's really very difficult for Dupree from this position. He will try to do what he can, but he is locked out. There's still a Molotov to be thrown as well. If he misses the shot, he may not get more opportunities. And that bomb is close to detonation. And obviously there's a situation here where Dupree, well, never mind, he's going to die. 9-6, and great amounts of detail to the T side of Mousesports. In this round, we saw the smoke on the T red container outside, and then a quick flash, pop flash from, I think it was Sunny, to actually counter any pushes, which you don't see from a lot of teams.
Stiko looks stressed, man. He looks stressed. He doesn't look happy.
It reminds me of like Rops yesterday when Paolo went to interview them after they won, and Rops was like, honestly, his answer was as though they lost because it took them too many rounds to close it down, and you could really hear from him. He's like, that wasn't good enough.
That's good though.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely
a great mindset. It's not enough to win. We must meet the standards we set for ourselves, and we haven't done that on this occasion. 1 player disconnected from the server, so there might be a hopefully a short delay, if any delay is required, before this resumes. 3 rounds between the 2 sides, and the reconnection is there.
This would be pretty huge. Obviously, and again, it's Astralis with a stand-in, but they've been playing very well with Rubino. Rubino's been doing a great job. But for Mousesports to make a finals of the last event of the year, that would be so that would be amazing for them. Considering, again, not seeing them at many events and perhaps not capitalizing on some of the momentum that they had and some of the ups and downs that they've experienced, it would be such an amazing way to cap off the year. just to make the finals. But we're not there yet. The pistol of the second half, the last half in this best of 3 with these two teams. The semi-final at ECS 4. dupreeh making a lot of noise here. He is Mr. Reconnaissance. But the messenger's been shot. dupreeh will back away. The push comes into ramp. He's doing a decent job. Picks up 1 kill, but stays out there. Wanted more. He won't get it. Denied.
Headshots being delivered. Stiko's got a kit in this round. USP collected by dupreeh, and the bomb is planted. 4 and 3. dupreeh trying to shut down one of the possible flanks, but there are more available around the vent position, and dupreeh will not prevail on this occasion. Stiko already in the vent. 2 players around control on the low ground. Maybe they have spotted Sunny. He didn't seem to see them. But how do they get defuse in? They've got nothing to cover them apart from meat shields. Stiko holding an angle. There is a Heathen shield, but he's come off the bomb. Perhaps that's enough. That bomb is ticking really fast, trying to close the door, but it'll cost him his life. And that is the round for Astralis.
Nice, quick smile there, quick smirk from Mr. Glaive as he is happy with his troops. Rubino with another great round. I think 3 kills here for him in this one. That's number 2. Number 3. I want to see that kind of lumberjack checkered shirt on Rubino. I think that'd be a good look. Go full lumberjack mode. He is cutting down his opponents, so it would be fitting. Glaive moving outside now, playing the anti. Forced by Zipex with the opener with the MAC-10. Stiko threatening their positions around the huts with that 5-7 of his. Actually swapping out for that Deagle. So many grenades into the upper position, but it's going to be ramp where they test. Rubino again, another entry frag from him. CK will get 1, but the main push is here. And okay, things are getting a bit awkward now. The scout coming into play. Chris going aggressive, looking for more. The flick is not good, but he gets another chance. Gets someone through the wall. Is there more to be done for Chris? No, but Sunny's now in position.
He tagged dupreeh as well in that last shot, actually. And that enables the Deagle, although the MAC-10 is collected. Might do more. Sunny has full armor. Position no now, and he continues to upgrade as he moves along. Will they go for a double peek, or will they wait for him to go through this very tight choke point? Not an easy situation. The barrel of the gun was seen. And dupreeh will finish things off. That's the money wiped out for Mousesports. What kind of CT side are they going to have? The start is not spectacular, but what will the finish be? Only time will tell. Astralis in a good position to tie up the score now.
And that's kind of the thing, is that we haven't seen much of Mousesports' CT side in this tournament just because they've been so dominating on their T sides. So it is actually a very big question mark indeed.
Oh, Oscar's name is Thomas. We all thought his name was Oscar.
Yeah, I always just assumed it was Oscar. When he said
his name was Oscar Tommy.
When he said, like, my mum called me, like, gave me the name Oscar at 5, I was like, well, that's a lot of years to like be unnamed, the unnamed child. But yeah, that's quite humorous. USPs have come to naught really for the Mousesports side, as expected, and respected. And there it is, 1 kill. That's all right. That's okay. So now it's time to see whether or not Mousesports can get some value out of these rifles. I say rifles, we've got an SMG in there.
But we still have a plural of rifles. So you were fine, Dan. You were in a good place.
Nice.
Just like all of us in Cancun, we're in a good place. Right then. Key round for Mousesports. They're not starting in an ideal situation. And it will continue to be that way. Oscar taken down almost immediately. Shot in the face by Zipex. Glaive, plain sight, moving into the secret position. There is a player deep in the garage. So perhaps he was heard. Perhaps the information is known. Sunny's focus will be on the main area, holding a tighter angle than we saw someone hold in the first half, because he wants to avoid getting flashbanged in case there is a push into his position. Glaive has found himself in the B bomb site, and he may go for a flank towards towards ramp, because there's a minute 10 on the clock, and if his position is undetected, then he could do big damage. But no, Rops has the spatial awareness of a god.
God Rops. Falcon Rops. Kirby! One to the chest, or a few from Kirby as Steeko goes down, and it's left to Zipex. Left to Zipex. He's going to be creeping his way into the hut position, but again, it's very scary going into the upper bomb site. There's so many positions to worry about because of the elevation of the bomb site. There's so many spots everywhere, and there is one of them. One of the many. Chris is going to find the frag, and Mousesports very, very important to just win that round straight away and not to suffer sort of what they did to Astralis, which is to get like those first 5 rounds.
Rops is definitely one to watch demos of on the CT side of Nuke. I think that was apparent from the previous Nuke that we saw, the decision making, when to back off, when to go deeper into the ramp, how to position yourself to stop the T's from abusing a numbers advantage in the duel situation. I think it could be good for people at home to keep an eye on that, pick up the demos from HRTV after the matches, just watch Rops for the whole time and see how he preserves his life. Steeko is not a man about preservation, he is about elimination, holding down that vent dive position. 5 versus 2. This is a great opportunity for Mousesports to really build a cache if they can win this round and stay alive. Chris J, though, he can't do that towards the ramp.
There's a chance here after that immense efforts with a UMP from Steeko, who's now earned an AK-47. He's collected it. Dupree going for the peak Oscar. He's going to spot that one again. You don't need to take this fight. And he understands that. He'll back away, disengage. Dupree's position now understood. There's 4 players to spread across the map here for Mousesports, and it's Nuke, so it's very easy for the CTs to kind of rotate between both bomb sites. So there's so much working against Astralis in this very pivotal round, and especially chief amongst that is Rops in this beautiful off angle. There is just no way that you are ever able to defend against that. Dupree now, he knows where Rops is, but Rops is just toying with him, baiting. Dupree knows, but how does he deal with this? Oh, that was great, but can't get the second player. Beautiful setup from Mousesports to finish off the round, 11-9.
That situation was almost like extreme mode in some kind of aim game or something, I don't know. Very difficult situation, did the best he could. Astralis, their money has been sent down to the 2,000 mark. Deagles are out on 3 of the 5 players. This is not going to be the best round in the world for them, or it's unlikely at least. Rubino with the VY Canis Majoris, the big sun. I think that's the 2nd biggest sun in the world. Somebody corrected me on the biggest one, but I forget the name of it. Well, they're off to a good start, Astralis at least. They are trying to improve their positions, but Sunny, he'll move back to try and extend that range, at which he is at an advantage versus most of these players. Glocks are still in tow. That's a tight funnel. See the wide play from Kiabi. Ideally, he wanted a 2nd player to go closer. There was a double peek while he's just strafing, but it was always going to be a tough round for Astralis, and they will have to settle on that 1 kill.
Nice. Love to see that. All right, 12-9. Now this is, because one thing that I've been worried about with Mousesports, I was kind of hesitant really when we swapped to the CT side. One thing that we've seen is that one half can very commonly not look like the other half as far as, one team's, overall play and dominance. Obviously T and CT sides can be so different. in the game of Counter-Strike, which is why when you have a new roster, you have to give them a lot of time because they have to work on like 14 different sites. Well, obviously you're going to veto some maps and so on, but still, you know, there's a lot to be mastered in this game between a team of players. But Mousesports seem to be holding up pretty well so far against the Astralis offense. They're 4 rounds away from a finals, James. 4 rounds away. That's not a lot of rounds.
Yeah, and people have said that Mousesports have perhaps underachieved with this roster to date. I think this roster has great potential. So let's see if they can take it there.
This is interesting. I think Astralis, they're pressuring outside quite a bit here. Mousesports don't have info, so you can see that they've got a man in secret, a man in garage. It's a lot of focus around the outside, but Astralis, the main push is coming towards the ramp position soon. Glaive wants to meet up with them, but he has to best Oscar in a 1v1. Oscar doesn't want the 1v1. That's a smart move here. He's going to try to control his opponents, drop in smoke using utility, allowing his teammates to come in for rotations as need be.
I love the repositioning from Chris J after that shot. He estimates that he has a time window with which to move into this position when he was last seen towards CT, and it pays off for him in spades. Zipex taken down, and he will reposition just as Rops did, although he's got to be more careful with the AWP. He knows the numbers are there, and he will back off accordingly. But that's great presence of mind. That is game sense for you that you are seeing on the ramp.
And this is something too, you know, Mousesports express such annoyance in not being able to close down advantages here. They look so focused here. It's not over until the very last round is played. And the bomb has been planted by Astralis, but look at the numbers advantage here for Mousesports. They have 1 man to the good, but not anymore. Glaive takes him down. Oscar can't push from secret, but maybe Sunny can eliminate Glaive down to 3 HP. Glaive's just going to do a runner, but it's the threat of Glaive is still there.
Or is it? Sunny's above him, so he can hear him rotating. He knows he's running away, and that's going to allow Sunny to move into the main position. 1 player on ramp, Rubino near the smoke, but that bomb's ticking fast, and Sunny's the only person with a kit. He's the man who needs to go for the defuse now. They know Glaive is in the vent. He can't do anything about this. Sunny's on the bomb. So important that Sunny stayed alive in that situation outside as well. The fact he's in position to hear the player running through B helps Mousesports take the round. 13-9 now, and the money's pretty tight here for Astralis.
It is very tight, and Mousesports are 3 rounds away now. 3 rounds from a finals. Astralis, what have you got? What tricks are up your sleeve? You got to throw everything, including the kitchen sink now against Mousesports. They're looking really solid. I love the focus from them. Chris with the AWP outside. Sunny with the off angle towards main and garage. Lots to overcome here for Astralis as they try to work outside with limited utility. This likely means we need a fast round from them. And Chris with the repositioning. It's a very disgusting angle to have to play against. Deep incendiary as well. And also we can't forget Sunny, who can hear running from the garage position. If they do go secret at least.
They don't know if any CT is there. That might have bought a lot of time, and there could be a CT in this position, so they've got to be careful. They could flash it, but of course that would give the element of surprise away. Oscar with a flash of his own, but he peeks just before it, and Glaive is ready for it. I think Oscar only saw 1 person on the kill on the death screen there, but there are many more. Chris J traded instantly. Belly got his rifle ready for the first kill. 4 versus 3 though, still recoverable for Mousesports, but can they recover?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks really bad at the moment. That's a good shot, though, from Rops. Maybe there is a chance. Deco trying to go for the drive-by. He gets it somehow. 2 players left. This is falling apart for the Danes. Zipex loses his battle as well. Everyone's losing their fights. Rubino, the stand-in. He's been immaculate so far, but really this is such a tall order once again for him to try to deliver. Can't get the taps. It's Sunny. And now Mousesports are 2 rounds away. That was such a solid chance for Astralis. They had all the advantages, James.
High pressure round for both teams, but Mousesports, they keep their focus. They do not waver, and they're looking pretty damn chill. 14-9 for them. That's a great shot from Steeko.
Wow. It's just the confidence. They're so sure of themselves right now. And again, we have to cast our minds back to these very disappointed interviews where they would get the win, but it's just they almost lost the match, allowing comebacks, losing focus when they had advantages. That is not the case today. We're seeing an incredibly focused Mousesports, eyes on the prize at the moment. That prize is being the winners of the last Tier 1 competition of the year, which will go very far for them. Astralis obviously having to work with a lot of situations which have not been paying off well for them recently, having to use standards repeatedly. We've seen it has taken a toll on them here and there, but they have really been carrying it so very well.
Astralis are running out of rounds to lose, no matter what the margin is in the round itself. Reasonable grenades for this round, and it seems they'll go for the usual wall of smoke outside. Always reminds me of Astana Dragons. And there they are. They're going to use 3. This time Glaive will be in there much faster. He wants to make inroads towards the B bomb site before the CTs can get into position. The Molotov lands behind him. You know the CTs can't get into good positions because he has not been contained by that Molotov. And let's not forget the earlier round where he found himself in the B bomb site. But I think it was Rops who took him down towards the ramp. But his presence is most certainly a threat.
Yes, he's really deep, actually. Rob's not really able to find an initial engagement there. Again, you've got to be so careful. You just don't want to die. But Glaive, he is in an incredibly strong position for a flank. Looking to just jump out of the grass there. Unbeknownst to the CTs, or maybe not. Oscar somehow has Glaive's number. I think he heard the running. Dupree, though, able to get a trade back, but really, this is tough. The odds are against him, 2 versus 4. The smoke down there by the hazmat room, and Sipex can't win his 1v1. Oh, this looks so desperate for Astralis. Dupree, there's nothing he can do but hold his hands up and just get executed by Oscar. 15-9. Match points for Mousesports. Map 3 here. This will be the finals for them if they close it down now.
Astralis did a really good job of driving Rops into a horrible position. He was very exposed, but Glaive just couldn't find the right angle. And then Rops ended up getting a kill above the silo as well, so he made a lot more of his position than you might expect. Oscar creeping through the smoke, absolutely no respect from him. Astralis, though, still have a good buy in terms of weaponry, but the utility is almost non-existent, and it will be a charge straight into the A bomb site through the funnels, but it's only a 1-for-1 around the hut position.
Yeah, Oscar running out of bullets there. Has to switch out to the pistol. Not an easy situation. Rops coming in from the back once again, doing what Rops does. He's lurking all over the place. And there's 2 left now for Astralis in the dying moments of this round, which could be the last round of the tournament for Astralis. Don't slow down. The bomb is on the ground. Kirby finds additional chances here, but he is now the last man standing with the UMP. Kirby. Shot in the back, and that's it. 16-9. Mousesports. It came to nuke, and that has been a mark of success time and again, and it doesn't provide them anything less than that in this very critical, pivotal moment here at the ECS 4 finals. What a result.
Yeah.